We're back to Todd Howard.
I love Todd. You can't escape him. He's always
When I
there.
close my eyes, I see that picture of Todd Howard.
Yeah.
You say Fallout in front of this one, they're gonna think about the Cold War.
God bless Todd.
I pray to him every night before I go to bed.
Yeah.
4, 3, 2.
Hey, welcome back.
We're back.
Yeah.
Again for another one.
Another one, yes.
Another one.
Just in case you guys were curious, we're not talking about Goat Simulator. That game is so horrendous, it doesn't deserve any spotlight of any manner.
That's gonna be such a hot take.
Is
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, apparently.
I don't know why. I
yeah.
thought the game is kind of objectively just bad.
Yeah, well, I guess that's the point, though, right?
Yes, but just because a game reaches what point it is doesn't make it good.
That's fair.
Getting over with Bennett Foddy, the point is it makes you mad.
Yeah,
It does not make it a good game.
Well, that's. I guess it's. I guess if it's the point of the game, then is it a bad game?
Yes. Just because a game does what it says on the tin does not mean it's objectively just a good game.
Hey, did you know that there are beans out there or like jelly beans, where if you eat one of them, it could be a delicious bean, or if you eat another one, it could taste like dog poop.
Yes.
Isn't that such a fun thing?
That is quite
And it's
literally
advertised.
that's the physical representation of this whole game debate. And no one likes the beans, so why do they like give the games the benefit of the doubt? They treat the games different when it's the same thing.
That's fair.
If I make a poster saying I will kill your daughter, and then I kill your daughter, that doesn't make it okay because I was
Yeah.
advertised as what it was.
I eated your goldfish. Why did you do that? I told you I'd do it on like Tuesday. I thought you were joking. Yeah, but I was hungry.
Anyway, let's get this little ball rolling, shall we?
I guess, should we start with esports then again, like we usually...
About what?
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
Yeah, esports tournaments. There's a Valorant tournament coming up soon. It's Valorant. That is like the one game the entire team plays that I have no knowledge of.
Yeah, I heard it's good though. I had a buddy who played it once.
I mean, it looks fun. It looks
Yeah.
interesting. It's
Mm.
just Chinese spyware.
That's, true. I mean, well, a lot of games have what's it called?
Anti-cheat.
Anti-cheat, yeah, and a lot of anti-cheat has issues involving spyware being spyware for some reason. I guess it makes sense because...
That's because a lot of anti-cheat is kernel level, which for you not computer nerds, that means that the anti-cheat has access to all of the programs and processes that are installed and running on your computer.
And that's not great. Like, you shouldn't have to download that type of software to play a silly shoot-'em-up game,
No, I mean, the anti-cheat works when it's kernel level. Like, it will detect the cheat, but at the same time, you're giving up privacy to a
Yeah.
company.
And again, I've heard it's a fun game,
Yeah.
genuinely. I wonder if they'll do some sort of... Because I saw Multiverses is getting pretty big, so I wonder if they'll start doing...
Multiverse already has anti-cheat, I think. It's just not
Yeah.
kernel level.
But I mean, the college doing it or playing it.
Oh, college esports most likely gonna pick up multiverses at
That'd be
some
cool.
point. Probably gonna run it side by side with Smash Brothers.
That would be cool.
Maybe actually not this year, because it took the esports team like 4 or 5 years to get a Fortnite team,
Oh,
which was very impressive.
yeah. So, is it
Anyway, that's
time?
the esports
Yeah.
all out of the way. Remember, the esports team here is very good,
Yeah.
very well funded.
Yep.
And between you and me, audience, the college across the streets esports
Oh,
is
yeah. We looked at it. We actually took a little trip over, and because that school, it's really interesting looking at it, because it's like, oh, it's so pretty.
It
and then-
is, yes.
Yeah, it is genuinely pretty. But then we looked inside the esports building that they have.
The esports building had 4 computers, and it was next to the boiler room in the basement.
No shade to them, no shade. We love them, but we're allowed to be a bit.
Yeah.
They have nicer pillars than us. But
They have a castle, dog.
They have a castle. It's a pretty castle.
It is.
Yeah.
Speaking of castles and the wilderness, let's go on to our first bad game as part of our Bad Games Part 2.
Yeah, and by bad games, we don't actually really mean bad games, technically. We
No.
more mean
These games are either...
mid.
These games are painfully mediocre.
Yeah, exactly. Which is a shame, because Zookosis should have been good. Or it should have been horrifically bad. But it's just boring, which is not good.
Exactly.
Like, how can you make, animals turning into monsters and you have to, cure them? Boring. How do you do that? I don't get it.
That is a very good question. Again, I've been following Zookosis since, it was announced that they were working on it, 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
It genuinely looked like it had more than the potential to be a good game.
And the thing is, I know exactly what happened with Zookosis. And I'll think about whether or not I get too personal when talking about this. The lead developer, or the lead screenwriter for the thing, died. And
What? What?
you didn't know this?
No, I didn't know this. What?
Yeah, he died.
When?
The writer, mid development. Yeah, that just happened.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, no, he just died. He died, and so basically a bunch of everybody else in the development team was in limbo, essentially, because, well, one of their lead people died. You actually see it might be in the credits or before, but it's, a little note.
That makes sense.
Basically being RIP to this dude who, died.
So what? All the other screenwriters just had to do twice their job now?
Exactly. And not only that, but their freaking leader died. The person who wanted to make the game, and the dude had a million intricate ideas apparently about the game, but it just didn't. It just went away with him apparently.
Well, now I feel bad calling the game mid because he's dead.
Well, that's the thing, though, right? I understand completely that feeling of working on a project and then somebody close to you vanishing. And not because it's something I've gone through, but because somebody very close to me did end up passing a few months ago. I'm not going to get too much into it, but the idea of this person, working with that person and that person being gone, why the hell would I ever want to work on that project? At all after that. It makes complete sense that
they would have shut it down. They would have stopped it.
Yeah, but they kept going. But I genuinely think that they either should have given themselves more time. I know why they rushed it, most likely, is because they didn't want to think about it anymore, because reminders of the person passing, possibly. Again, I don't know any of these people, and whatever, it's just complicated, right?
Yeah.
It's so complicated, and it's hard to deal. I don't know. It's just complicated.
Yeah, no. But it's a bad game, though.
It is still a bad game. Yeah,
this is not an excuse.
No.
The game was still bad.
Yeah, and they should have been. The fact that one of the main things you do is clean up dookie and
That's
re-temperature.
Awesome. I love cleaning poop.
But it's that's not even necessarily an issue. It's that you're doing the same 4 tasks over and over and over and over again with complete monotony. And also, there's this one mini game where you have to measure out food, but you don't know which side is, because they don't label any of it. And there's a tutorial, but it just doesn't teach you half of the things that it's supposed to do for some reason.
Yeah, but then when the giraffes and stuff become spooky, now you get to clean up spooky poop. Now it's scary.
Now it's scary poop.
Scary poop.
Yeah.
The thing is because Zookosis was such a hyped game,
there
was a ripoff that came out a month after named Zoonomaly.
Oh, yeah.
We're not going to talk about it here.
Yeah.
But it is
It's
it is
funny bad.
hilariously awful.
Yeah.
This game isn't hilariously awful. It's just kind of
bad, and it's almost sad in a way because you can feel their genuine
yeah.
not really wanting to work on it anymore, which is like how the boss fights work, where it's the same thing over and over again. You go in, you get the thing, you go back to get the cure, and you go back out, and as soon as you go back out, there's always every single time the monster.
Yeah.
And that feels like genuinely some developer being like, it would be so complicated to have it be this way or that way. We'll just do it the same.
Yeah. No dynamic AI, just script it.
Exactly. We'll do it the same every time because it's just easier and I don't have to think about it anymore. Again, that could be me reading too much into it, but that's what it feels like.
This is also the first time I have seen any footage of Zoochosis.
Really?
Yes. That is a man. Wow. I don't think I've seen a better description of Uncanny Valley model before I saw that man.
I guess that isn't even an issue given his character.
Why is he walking like that?
I don't know. Well, he's a spooky guy. I mean, I'm not going to
He looks like Colonel Sanders.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's okay that it's uncanny if it's, a horror game.
Yeah, but like, it's not supposed to be. He
Yeah.
just doesn't look very good.
No. Hey, you know what I'm feeling?
What?
I'm feeling punk, dude.
In a cyber manner?
In a cyber manner, dude.
You give me cyber psychosis just sitting here next to you.
What? Wow, that you're so mean to me all the time.
I think it's time we move on to one of the most infamous examples of a video game launching in the history of the medium.
Worse than Man Knows Land?
That joke doesn't even work in any semblance.
What?
But Cyberpunk, you know it, you love it, or you hate it.
Yeah.
This game is...
Apparently it's good now.
It is good now, but my good diddly lord, I played it on launch.
Was it buggy? Did it have all the bugs?
If you pick... The thing with Cyberpunk, if you've seen the game, you most likely know that at the start you get to pick one of 3 sets.
Mm-hmm.
If you pick the Corpo set at launch, you got soft-locked and you couldn't play the game.
What, really?
You got soft-locked during the opening.
Oh,
and you couldn't play the game.
What the hell?
The game was virtually unplayable at launch. And I should clarify, we're talking about the launch version, since now the game is...
better.
I still wouldn't call it, like, the best game ever. I'd say, like, 7 out of 10 now.
Yeah. And I think what's worse about it, like, if it was a $30 game, if it was a $40 game even, it wouldn't be as much of an issue.
No.
But this is a AAA release.
Yeah, this thing was $60 on launch.
Yeah, I think...
And $60 now.
Yeah, I think devs are starting... AAA especially took the wrong lessons from No Man's Sky launch, which is where they basically fixed it later. The whole point of why we appreciate No Man's Sky, or at least I do as, a fan of it, isn't because they messed up. It's because they had a sincere problem and they fixed it, and they've been doing that for the past couple years it might be like 6.
Exactly, that's the thing is they didn't screw it up intentionally.
Yeah,
there was love behind the project, which is why they spent so much time trying to fix it.
They stuck with it.
Exactly.
And that was one of the first times that's happened, I think. Or at least one of the most major ones. But instead of developers being like, okay, we need to put as much love into these things as possible.
They want to make them fast.
Yeah, they're saying, oh, we can just screw up. We can just make a half-assed
fix
game,
it later.
and we'll just fix it later. We'll fix it in post.
Exactly. They fix it later because they need the money.
Exactly.
But the thing is, we shouldn't blame the workers here.
No,
because you know what's causing this sort of it's the shareholders.
Yeah.
The shareholders
and the
want the game to
bosses.
come out immediately.
Exactly.
Because they make the most money.
Mm-hmm.
The most money a game makes is during like the launch weekend.
Yeah.
That is the most money the game will ever make in its existence.
Yeah.
So they want it to be as fast as possible so the shareholders get the most money.
It's also the bosses who are like, well, okay, we need this out now. We need it. It doesn't matter if.
Exactly.
And again, they can be like, well, we don't care that you're naked half the time because your clothes bugged out. Good boy. We'll just fix it 10 years later
I don't
in
know
that DLC.
I don't know if that was intentional, but the naked bug was genuinely an issue on
Yeah,
launch.
no, I'm telling you, like.
You know about the naked bug?
Well, I think a lot of games have. I think even.
I'm talking about this game had the naked bug.
No, I bet, yeah.
If you had genitalia enabled during launch, there's like a
Yeah.
50-50 chance you would just have the schlong just out for the
Yeah.
majority of gameplay.
It's it's just a lifestyle
And
choice.
speaking of launch, if you can't tell from this gameplay, this
Yeah.
was taken from launch because look at that crisp 30 frames a second on
Oh
low.
yeah.
The game is set to low graphics, and we're getting 30 frames a second.
I feel like a lot of games nowadays they're like, oh, we can just make our games as high res as like with 1,000,000 pixels per square inch of
Exactly.
this man's.
And
like,
if the game's running bad for you, upgrade.
upgrade your computer,
Exactly.
stupid.
Get your
Fix
get
it.
a better computer. It's
And
not our fault.
Yeah, fuck you, pores. Like, when are you like, it makes no sense.
They blame the consumer.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, for games like this, with Cyberpunk especially, I feel like for advertising, it was advertising graphics over gameplay.
Yeah. I feel like, again, I've said before in previous episodes, I don't mind. I think you should pay attention to your graphics in
Yeah.
your game. I'm an art person. I am studying art and animation. That's my thing.
If you want a game to look realistic, you can do it and
Yeah.
not, have it. You can optimize it so
Yeah,
it
exactly.
doesn't run like that.
Yeah.
If I look at that long enough, it gives me a headache.
Exactly. That's the issue, right? Is like, and again, you don't even have to go for realism to make it a good game. Other games on, like the Switch, right?
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild runs pretty good on my light.
Exactly, and it looks phenomenal.
Exactly, and that's an older game
And
on an older console.
you want to know something wild?
What?
Breath of the Wild runs pretty decently on the Wii U.
Really?
Yeah, I own a Wii U copy of the game.
Oh,
There's
damn.
frame drops, sure, but
Yeah.
it runs pretty decently.
Because they know that they had to work with limitations.
Exactly.
But you need to work with and you need to acknowledge that if you want more money, you're going to need to make sure that people with consoles or even people with like some crummy laptop should be able to at least somewhat play your game, And not like a billion years old, but you should have a decent you should have decent optimization.
They're doing the backputting, but without like the attention. Like for instance,
Exactly.
the new Call of Duty game, Black Ops 6.
Uh-huh.
It's gonna be like the most graphically intensive one yet.
Yeah.
They're still releasing it to PlayStation 4 and Xbox One.
Why?
And it's gonna run like absolute. People know it ran like absolute garbage because the
Yeah.
leak that let them play the whole game early
Yeah.
was because it was on PlayStation 4.
But it's,
Exactly.
I think people, especially developers, are not developers, but I think the heads of the company genuinely think that hyperrealism is more important than playability, or even just like, and it also leads to limitation in style or experimentation.
Yeah, but I
because-
feel like that's a separate conversation though
I guess
because
that's fair.
AAA games they have style. They're not immune
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah, I know.
Like
but
Alan Wake, that's realism and it has style to it.
that's true. I need to play Alan Wake. I heard it's good, but we're not here to talk
No,
about.
we're
good
not here to
games.
talk about style
Yeah.
or good games.
Or good games.
Well, you know what's also good?
What?
When a game launches, like the game comes out and people who pre-ordered it, and the
Yeah.
game is so buggy that you can't open the game until like 3 days after the launch of the game.
Hey, it's Bethesda, fellas.
It is Bethesda GameWorks.
I love Bethesda. It just works.
It does just work.
It just works.
Now let's pray to the god of gaming himself, Todd Howard,
I love Todd Howard. He's just a guy.
and let's move on to Fallout 76, which I should clarify right as we said.
We're talking about Starfield, dog.
Starfield
Yeah.
is Fallout 76 again, but without multiplayer, which is the point I was making.
Oh.
Yeah, no, we're not. That little majesty of a game, we'll talk about that later. But no, because the thing is, Starfield and Fallout 76, as part
Yeah.
of the joke, they're the same game.
Yeah.
Like, I don't mean same game mechanics or anything like that. I mean quite literally, They run on the identical game engine of Gamebryo.
You know what pisses me off so much about Starfield?
Hmm.
Similar to Zoocosis, but at least Zoocosis has the excuse that somebody on their team died, somebody important. They don't. Starfield has no excuse.
Starfield should have been. It's a cool little space shooter.
How
That's
do you
awesome.
make space boring? It's space. Like, there's a million ways you can make it interesting.
Exactly.
Like, aliens. Add aliens, even. Or if you don't want to add aliens, add, like, people who are different. I don't know. Add people aliens. But there's a million ways to make it.
Exactly.
Aren't there actual... There are actual
Yeah,
aliens.
there's aliens and
Yeah.
there's mercenaries.
Exactly. But when I saw the battling or the looting...
It's
in
the
game,
same.
it's the same over and over. And that seems to be a pattern
That's
with
the
it.
thing, is Starfield, going back to the whole joke with Fallout 76,
Yeah.
the Starfield loot and combat system is identical to Fallout,
Yeah.
which is identical to Skyrim. The only difference is Skyrim doesn't have guns.
Hey, Jess, I got an idea for a
We're
game.
not doing Skyrim with guns. We're not doing Skyrim with guns.
I have an idea that you won't refuse. It's Skyrim, but we polished the graphics again, so it's even better.
I am so excited for Starfield 2. They did release a DLC.
Is it
Which-
good?
I don't think it's out yet. I'm pretty sure it's
Oh,
coming
okay.
out in
Okay,
the
fair.
next week.
Okay.
But again, the thing is, Starfield had a because Starfield's been in development since like
Yeah.
2013.
Uh-huh.
Bethesda's been hyping this up like absolute crazy,
Yeah.
and it has had genuinely some of the worst like first weekend sales of any Bethesda game.
And that's funny because I think Bethesda has gotten too comfy with their modding community.
Yes, they literally. That's what the Creation Club is. You pay
Yeah.
real money for mods.
Yeah, which is freaking stupid. Okay. Todd Howard. This is my little love letter directly to him. Nobody owes you mods, dude. Nobody owes you fixing your game or even just adding to it. Like, mods are a gift that are given if your game receives enough love.
Exactly.
You know?
And they've coasted on that idea because Fallout 3 and New Vegas, they were.
Yeah.
And no, firstly, sorry, I made a mistake.
Oh.
We're not.
How dare you? make
Fallout New
mistakes.
Vegas isn't technically Bethesda, it's Obsidian.
Yeah.
Even though Obsidian was an offshoot of
That's why
Bethesda.
it's good, though.
It is the same game. It is a Bethesda game. I don't care if it's an offshoot, it's the same company.
I guess that's fair. I haven't played 76 though, but I've heard it's one of the better ones. Not
76?
No, not 76. No, wait, New Vegas.
Yeah.
I meant New Vegas. I'm sorry.
Again, I'm a big Bethesda fan. I'll admit.
Yeah,
I love Skyrim. I
Skyrim was
love
my
Fallout.
childhood.
Exactly. I've played the Elder Scrolls 3 for all the Fallouts.
Yeah.
They're fun.
Mhm.
It's just Todd Howard kind of abuses that trust of it
Yeah.
because Todd and Bethesda as a company realizes it's like the thing with Cyberpunk. We're
Yeah.
like, we can fix it later,
can fix
except they
it
don't
with-
even fix
they
it
don't-
later.
Like, at least other companies bother to like.
They
I
try
gen-
to fix it later.
Yeah, I genuinely think like Zoocosis will even be at least semi-fixed.
Yeah,
after.
they could fix it later.
They could fix it later.
But the thing is,
Bethesda doesn't care.
No, they realize, hey, the community's just they're gonna release
Yeah.
the Starfield patch, which they have.
Yeah.
They've already done the Starfield patch.
Yeah.
The Starfield community patch. And guess what? It fixes most of the problems with
Yeah.
optimization. That the game, they could have pushed that. Bethesda themselves could have made that push
It could have
in like a
paid
200
them,
megabyte
honestly.
update.
And the funny thing is, Starfield, it's
The gameplay itself is just kind of
not good. Even if you fix all of the games, all
the
of
gameplay
the
itself
bugs.
is still just boring.
Yeah. Again, like, the funny thing again, No Man's Sky fixed the problem. No Man's Sky realized, oh wait, we can't just make a game where nothing happens and you're just exploring a planet and
Exactly.
mining resources. You actually have to put stuff to do in the world to make it an interesting open world.
Exactly.
But apparently, a billion years later, Starfield realized, oh, this problem that another studio graciously fixed after.
Let's just ignore it,
Let's
lol.
just ignore it. What lesson is there to
Because
be
that's
learned?
easily the biggest problem with Starfield is that it does the launch No Man's Sky thing of the majority
Yeah.
of planets being barren,
Exactly.
except for like a building and maybe a mercenary
And you know the
camp.
worst part? You can land on planets in No Man's Sky. You have a loading screen and it's a long loading screen, and you can't even explore the whole planet.
No,
And there's nothing to do on that barren planet
no,
anyway.
I mean, well, actually, sometimes there's a mercenary camp, and maybe
Whoa.
you'll find like a 10mm pistol.
Whoa.
Except that's the wrong game. That's Fallout 4's gun, because 76 is Fallout 4 in space.
Yeah. Which is just Fallout 3 in Fallout 4. And that's just
Yes.
Skyrim with guns.
Exactly. It all goes back to Skyrim because
Yeah.
Bethesda has been adamant about using the same outdated game engine.
And it's not just an outdated game engine, it's outdated gameplay, outdated storytelling.
It's outdated game design and
Exactly.
ideas. Bethesda is treating these games like it's 2007.
Exactly,
It's
which is
not
why
2007.
they think, yeah, they still think that they're the little rickety studio that can get away with all the things they do.
No,
But they're not anymore.
Bethesda is worth like $50 million.
Yeah.
They are a massive AAA game studio.
Yeah, and you should start acting like it. Make games that are actually good and people will play for them. When the Game Awards happened, Baldur's Gate 3, Baldur's Gate 3, Baldur's Gate 3. They didn't win one award.
I'm pretty
and I
sure
felt
this is
so
the
happy.
first year in like multiple years that
Yeah.
Bethesda did not win a single award in any
Honestly.
category.
Seriously, not one.
No.
For anything.
No, Bethesda, to wrap it all up for Starfield, Bethesda has so much money that they just think that they can abuse their fan base.
Exactly.
Which, let's move on to another company which suffers from the same problem. You know it, you love it, they steal the breast milk in the fridge, they sexually harass their employees.
Oh yeah.
It's Blizzard.
I love Blizzard. I love Frat House Studios.
We know all about the Cosby Suite.
Oh, I don't know about the Cosby Suite.
I don't know how much of it I can say,
Yeah.
but Blizzard higher-ups rented out a suite of a popular hotel that was graciously nicknamed the Cosby Suite because over the bed had a golden framed picture of Bill Cosby.
Oh, and this is after the scandal too.
No, this
scandal
was
isn't the right
before
word.
the scandal, but the scandal took that part. But we're not here to talk about the
Yeah,
scandal.
yeah.
We'll talk about Blizzard another day. We're
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
talk about what is essentially the same. No, not essentially.
It is
the same game.
It's the same game.
It is identical, quite literally. All of the stuff that Overwatch 2 added
Yeah.
could have been a seasonal update for Overwatch 1.
Oh, absolutely. But they wanted to make it free. And you know why they
Exactly.
wanted to make it free? Because then you can justify paying for everything else, which
Yes,
is such a great
exactly,
model, by
because
the
when
way.
when Overwatch 2 went free, because Overwatch was free now,
Yeah.
they did the Call of Duty thing where they made bundles and stuff,
Why?
which is
why-
like $30 for a Reinhardt skin.
Why pay for anything once when you can pay for many things many times?
Exactly.
I love that. That's my favorite thing to do.
That's the thing is, and Overwatch 2, the whole reason that they justified it to the
Mm-hmm.
public was that we're gonna do this super cool new PvE story mode.
They never did it.
No, they did.
never did it. They never produced it. They never did
No, they
anything
did.
with it.
They got 2 episodes, and then they canceled it because no one was playing it.
Oh.
Because you had to buy a ticket to access to the PvE mode.
Why would?
You have to buy like tickets to pllay the PvE mode,
Why would?
and no one was buying the tickets,
How
so they
much were the
canceled the PvE
tickets?
mode. Okay, they weren't ridiculous. They were like $3, I think, per
Okay,
ticket, and
that's at least
and the
fair.
PvE missions were decently long, so you were
Yeah.
getting not a bang for your buck, but it was worth the price.
But even still,
it was fair.
But even still, I feel like players would have been more generous if they just paid the thing up front. And
Yeah, if you
then-
just charged like $30 for Overwatch 2 and just included the
Exactly.
PvE missions for free.
But that means that you can't pay like thousands of dollars for your favorite hot girl skin or hot guy skin.
The only reason Call of Duty gets away with that is just because of how big and massive it is.
Yeah.
Blizzard could not get away with that.
Wait, Blizzard could not get away with that?
Blizzard would not be able. Overwatch is popular, but they would not have been able to
Yeah.
get away with charging it.
Yeah.
Charging for both the games and the bundles.
Yeah, I guess that's
That's
fair.
why Overwatch 1. operated on a loot box system.
Yeah. But even still, it's like you're still charging tons and tons of
Exactly.
money for.
That's the thing, is, again, all of the new content outside of the PvE mode,
Yeah.
it's a seasonal update for Overwatch
Yeah.
1. It could have easily just been a seasonal update.
And they shut down Overwatch 1.
Yeah, no, they completely shut it.
So
And
anything you paid for, any skins, I'm guessing?
exactly. Yeah, no, it's
Did
not
it
even like a
transfer?
Call of Duty thing. As far as I'm aware, no. Skins and anything you got in Overwatch 1 was non-transferable. Because
But
it's a different
free,
game.
guys. It's
Exactly.
free.
Now it's free.
Just all of the skins and probably like half of the characters are paid now.
That reminds me of what Ludwig did back when he... No, not Ludwig. XQC. Back when XQC used to stream Overwatch.
Oh, yeah.
He was saving up, because when Overwatch 2 was coming up, he was saving up like thousands and thousands of loot boxes
Yeah.
to open, like a whole like 24-hour loot box stream. But Blizzard opened all the loot boxes for him, and he didn't get to see what rewards they were.
Wait, who opened them?
Blizzard, because when Overwatch 2 was coming out and they announced Overwatch 1 was shutting down,
Yeah.
Blizzard automatically opened any unopened loot boxes in the player's inventory.
In Blizzard 1 or Overwatch 1 or Overwatch 2?
Overwatch 1, when Overwatch 1 was shutting down, they automatically opened all unopened loot boxes.
Why? Why do that?
I don't know.
That's insane.
Blizzard is now owned by Microsoft, which means probably nothing. Probably nothing's
Yeah.
gonna change.
Probably the studio isn't even.
I'm
gonna
pretty
change.
sure all it's
probably
gonna
still
do is
yeah.
gonna make Overwatch on Game Pass, which I'm pretty sure it already was.
Which I guess is, but it's Overwatch. Of course it can be. It's free. Why does it need to be on Game Pass for extra skins?
I could be wrong. It could not. It might not be on Game Pass. I am not familiar.
Yeah.
It might not be, but no. Microsoft only bought Activision Blizzard for the Activision part, not the Blizzard part.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because Activision Blizzard are two.
Yeah,
separate
Activision
things.
Blizzard are the same company.
Yeah, Blizzard is like their dropout nerdy freak who
The entire company just screams, "I peaked in high school."
Oh yeah, honestly. I mean, just
now, gross, weird.
Yeah, strange.
So
So
let's move on from a company that thinks they can get away with a company that thinks they can get away. We're back to Todd Howard.
I love Todd. You can't escape him. He's always. He's always
When I
there.
close my eyes, I see that picture of Todd Howard.
Yeah,
And I don't even need to describe it. I'm
Yeah.
confident anyone who knows anything about
Oh yeah, you
a-
know.
about Bethesda, they know exactly what picture of Todd Howard I am talking
Yeah,
about.
where he looks like.
He's,
You know what I
he doesn't look real.
He's not real. He is much like Zuck,
He's
a lizard person.
the thing is Fallout 76, I think, showed Todd Howard he's genuinely a good chill guy.
Yeah.
Because after Fallout 76's horrendous, absolutely horrendous launch, Todd Howard had the cojones to get up on stage and specifically say to millions of people and acknowledge that Fallout 76 was a bad game.
Really?
He said it. He said Fallout 76 was a bad game and should not have launched like that. And he apologized.
Damn.
And he fixed it. He actively fixed Fallout 76.
Damn. Okay.
It is a good game now. But the
Huh.
thing with Fallout 76 at launch was that it had the unplayability issues of stuff like
Yeah.
Cyberpunk, but to the extreme.
Yeah.
Like, if I remember correctly, if you pre-ordered Fallout 76 and got it, like, during the launch weekend, you genuinely couldn't open and play the game.
Oh yeah.
You
and
could not open it.
weren't there like things where wasn't there a potato bug or something? Or
Yeah,
there was some sort of
Potato bug.
was it specifically a potato bug or?
I'm pretty sure, yes.
Yeah, it was something like that.
You want to explain a potato bug?
I don't know the specifics about it. There was just a potato bug. I don't.
Yeah,
Or there was like there was just a million bugs, or there was a cooking bug. I think.
exactly, yeah.
There were just a
It
ton
was
of.
ridiculously easy to duplicate items and crash servers.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, there was people who would like keep duplicating items in
Yeah,
like a thing.
And they would crash servers.
Yeah, exactly.
And the thing is, there was also, in the Fallout 76 map, during
Yeah.
launch and early, there was a section of the map that was off off of the main map, which is where devs use to test items and stuff.
Yeah.
It was ridiculously easy to no-clip and have the average player get out of there and get access to it, which is a problem because the dev map contained overpowered weapons as well as the ability to level your character to max.
Oh no. That's like
Which,
yeah.
by the way, once again, this is an MMORPG with PvP elements, which you can probably see why being able to overlevel your character so early in the game life would be a bit of an issue.
I love playing Connect 4, but actually getting all of the secret Connect 4s where I get to connect all the 4s.
That's like, it was quite literally playing Connect for, except for every one blue sphere,
You get like 5 red
you get like
ones.
15 red ones.
Yeah. Which is
You just win.
I just win all the time.
But Fallout 76 has become a lot better. I actually
Yeah.
kind of love it now. I'm not
nice.
ashamed to admit.
That's
I think it's a
fair.
fun game.
That's fair.
Just because I love Fallout 4, and this is just multiplayer Fallout 4.
Yeah.
But they added a bunch of stuff. Like, if I remember correctly, you can actually turn off PvP,
Really?
which means if you just want to, you can just play it like a normal Fallout game.
Oh, huh. So you can just do PvE with yeah,
Yes.
that makes sense. That makes sense.
But that does not excuse Fallout First, the yearly subscription service for
What?
Fallout.
What?
Fallout has a subscription service now.
Why does I love not being able to own any of the games that I own.
And you know what the Fallout First lets you do? It lets you make a private server. Which means you can genuinely, if you pay for Fallout First, you can play it. You have access to the entirety of Appalachia by
Yeah.
yourself. You don't... Which defeats the point of the MMORPG.
Yeah. I love playing Animal Jam, but I'm in the only place with only me.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love playing Wizard 101, but
Except
it's,
now you have to pay like $30 a year.
yeah, to not play with anybody. And in
And you want to know something great?
what?
Fallout 76, you'd think, since it's a multiplayer game, they wouldn't do Creation Club paid mods. They do Creation Club paid mods, except now it's the Atomic Shop. And now it's to be fair, it's virtually all cosmetic,
I guess that's fair.
which is fair enough.
But still,
It's just a Creation Club again.
but what, like, nobody should have to pay for mods is
And
my issue.
Another great thing about the Fallout First Atomic Shop, it does a Fortnite thing where it shuffles weekly, which means if there was an item one week
Oh, yeah.
that you want,
It's gone.
you can't get it till
Goodbye.
you have to hope it comes back. Which, much like Fortnite, it could be
doesn't.
thousands of days
Yeah.
if it even ever does come back.
Yeah.
Except Fortnite has the idea of, a good game.
Yeah.
Fortnite is genuinely just a good game.
Yeah, yeah.
Fallout 76 is average because it's just Fallout but again.
Yeah. It's okay to love
Yeah,
the
you
idea.
can like average games.
Yeah, you can like I loved Spore. I was
There's
genuinely
a
thinking
dragon.
Yeah. That's a thing. I was genuinely thinking of putting Spore on the list
No,
because
Spur's just a good game though.
it's good, but it has a lot of issues with it.
Yeah,
And
but
I feel like back in the day, people definitely would see it as mediocre, which is fair. And again, that's a game very close to my heart. It's inspired so much of
Exactly.
so much stuff.
same with me and Fallout, to be
Yeah.
honest.
But it's like
Yeah.
you gotta admit the
It's-
game's a little dookie sometimes.
Yeah, no, Fallout 76, I love it. I play it a lot. It is
Yeah.
donkey dookie. It is not very good. Look
Yeah.
at this. Dragon.
It's a dragon.
Skyrim with guns, everyone.
It's literally Skyrim. Oh my god.
We're
it's
facing, yeah, exactly. We are fighting a dragon. This is great.
I love dragon. I
Also,
love Skyrim with guns.
Look at the hand model. Hand model is not holding the sniper rifle.
Oh.
It's not holding the sniper barrel.
That's unfortunate. I don't know that much about guns. So.
I'm a bit of a gun nut. And
Yeah,
yeah,
that's fair.
like the Fallout perk. Because the Fallout perk has a gun nut, gives you 25% more experience with guns. Fallout reference.
I know what she's talking about. Yup.
If you say Fallout in front of this one, they're gonna think about the Cold War.
Oh, that atomic bomb and I don't know that.
Yeah,
one
you probably
place?
think atomic bombs are
Oh, silly me thinking atomic bombs are real.
they're purely fictional.
They're only in video games.
Yeah, so are bottle caps.
Yep.
Um,
And dragons. Wait. I mean, Komodo dragons are a thing. Komodo dragons are cool.
They're not dragons. They're
What
not
about bearded
dragons.
dragons? Those
They're
are cool.
still not dragons.
But they're cool.
They're still not dragons,
Lizard.
though. They're lizards, but they're not.
Quetzalcoatlus, that's not a dragon. That's a pterosaur.
We're gonna move on from
What?
this now
You
before
just
the
don't want to talk
dinosaur.
about dinosaurs.
Yes.
You just don't want to talk about pterosaurs.
Before the dinosaur talk keeps going.
Okay.
So now we already talked about Activision. We already talked about Blizzard.
Yeah.
Why don't we talk about the other half of Activision Blizzard? Activision.
Yeah.
Everyone loves them. And look at that. We're on D-Day. That's awesome.
I love war.
Call of Duty World War II.
Yeah.
Firstly, let me give some context.
Yeah, because I don't know
I
anything
am
about
one of
either
the
these.
biggest Call of Duty nerds.
That's fair.
I have played. I don't know if I should admit this, but I've played genuinely every single Call of Duty game that has ever released. From Call of Duty 1 to even the weird DS spin-offs of Black Ops, I have played a multiplayer match in every single Call of Duty game ever released. Which includes this one, World War II.
Yeah.
Which, World War II is, firstly, on the multiplayer side, World War II started the whole, Call of Duty World War II started the whole debate because in the multiplayer side,
Yeah.
you don't play as the Nazis. You play as the Axis, which you can tell from that little logo right there.
I guess that's fair, yeah.
They have removed all Nazi imagery in multiplayer.
Wasn't there zombie Nazis, though?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is in the zombies mode and the campaign mode of World War II, they're still
Yeah.
referred to as Nazis.
Yeah.
It's solely multiplayer where it's referred
Yeah.
to as the Axis. Which, what do you
Yeah.
think? What do you think about that?
I think that's better. I think it's
You
kind
don't
like
want like people to be able to play as Nazis?
I think that's I mean they're Nazis, you
Yeah,
know?
but at the same time,
It's historically accurate.
yeah,
but
to
it's,
call them Nazis.
Yeah, well they are Nazis.
Yes, with
yeah.
that's the thing. We are playing as a German infantry.
Yeah.
I think it's okay in the multiplayer sense to play as Nazis.
I guess that's fair.
'Cause, I
yeah.
mean, Call of
Instead
Duty-
of calling them Axis,
Yeah,
is
Call-
what you're saying.
Call of Duty World at War did it,
Yeah, that's fair.
and people love it.
Yeah, that's definitely fair. I guess it's mainly just like
Yeah,
they are terrible and they're real, you know.
dude,
But also like
dude,
yeah.
we are at D-Day. We are at the beaches of Normandy right now. I
guess,
think
yeah.
I get the point you're making, but at the
Yeah.
same time, I feel like it's kind of invalidated
Yeah,
when
it takes
there's
away from the realism.
when there's multiplayer maps that are
Yeah.
literally about the beaches of Normandy.
Yeah, I guess it's like it kind of reminds me of real life historical reenactments
Yes.
of wars, right? Like people who reenact the South and the North.
Yeah,
but a lot of
Civil
people,
War.
yeah, exactly.
They reenact Vietnam. They reenact basically
Yeah.
everywhere.
And like the South were terrible.
Yeah.
Like unabashedly,
But
it's you know.
I
But
don't
it's also
think-
like, I guess they should.
they're not really
Yeah.
But the thing is, for the majority of cases, like for instance, in this game too, they don't
Yeah.
reenact it because they want to be Nazis. They
No.
reenact it because they like they think war is cool. They like war. They like
Yeah.
cool guns.
That's fair, yeah. Which again, it is fair.
Yeah.
It's mainly just like again, what did they do? What,
Exactly.
You know, it's. I guess why would you want to play as a Nazi? Is my only.
I guess that's
question.
fair enough.
Yeah.
But now it's time to move on from the deep philosophical talk about Nazism, which was genuinely really good point. And now time to move on to why.
Oh,
especially,
Nazism was a really.
That's not Call of Duty. That's SpongeBob.
Oh yeah, sorry.
I guess we're talking about SpongeBob now.
Yeah. Do you want it to go back to? I guess you can just.
No, we're talking about SpongeBob
We're
now.
talking about
Editor has cut us off.
Yeah, we can just cut. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
SpongeBob.
Truth or square?
Truth or square. It's like the episode.
Are you square?
I am not telling the truth. But,
SpongeBob.
So firstly, let's give some context if you're not a SpongeBob fan. SpongeBob Truth or Square was a special episode that they released, I believe, around season 7 to commemorate like the show, I think, being on for like 20 years.
yeah.
Because it was an episode that showed it was the episode where the clip of like SpongeBob eating the Krabby Patty in his mom's uterus comes from.
What?
Yeah, you don't know that clip where like
No.
SpongeBob's moms eat a Krabby Patty and it goes through the umbilical cord and then baby SpongeBob eats it. But that's the thing.
Pregnancy is a beautiful thing.
That's the episode was all about the historical things of SpongeBob, and this game
Yeah.
is kind of loosely based off the episode because the plot of the game is SpongeBob
Yeah.
travels to multiple. SpongeBob forgets the Krabby Patty secret formula,
You
so
and
he
I
goes
for
back
gore.
in the memories to try to find it.
Yeah.
But the thing is SpongeBob games, especially in this era, were weird.
Yeah.
like, You had some phenomenal games: Battle for Bikini Bottom,
Mhm.
the movie game,
Yeah.
and a bunch of stuff.
Well, I feel like a lot of games, because when was this released?
Truth or Square was 2007.
Oh, yeah. Then there were, I'm guessing, a lot of.
There were a lot of SpongeBob games,
Well, there were just a lot of.
licensed games.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like a lot of those licensed games weren't that good.
No, but they don't have to be bad.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's why Truth or Square is on this list actually.
Yeah, yeah.
It's because it's not a horrendous game.
Yeah.
It's not gonna make you gouge your eyes out. It's just painfully average.
Yeah.
Like for instance, Battle for Bikini Bottom came out in 2002 for the GameCube.
Uh-huh.
If you look at these are the same models from a
Yeah.
console generation prior.
Yeah.
Which I mean, there's nothing inherently wrong with reusing assets, because like these models, they don't look the best, but they don't look awful either. They're expressive. They're fun.
Yeah, yeah.
But the game itself just screams like they're trying to do Battle for Bikini Bottom again.
Yeah. Kind of like. Never mind. I don't know. I was thinking of the later movies too,
No.
kind of redoing.
But the thing
Wow.
is that Truth or Square, the whole gameplay it's Battle for Bikini Bottom except linear.
Yeah.
Like if to give some context, Battle for Bikini Bottom was an open world collectathon.
Mm.
This game is a linear 3D platformer.
Yeah.
You have one objective to get to the end of the level, and that is it.
Uh-huh.
Which it does it well, but
I guess it's fair, but it's still mid.
yes, because well, it just not. It doesn't feel. It just feels very cheap.
Yeah.
The recording was corrupted. We have to move on from SpongeBob like right now.
Okay.
So we have one more shooter game to talk about.
Bluey.
That's not the shooter game. We're gonna talk about Bluey,
Bluey.
the shooter game. Yes,
Bluey, the shooter
because
game.
much like it's very realistic.
Yeah,
Because in
yeah.
Australia, it's not safe without a
Yeah,
gun.
Exactly. And there's emus on all sides trying to get you.
Exactly.
And they will win.
They won before. They'll
They'll
win
win
again.
again.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So, Bluey. Should we give context as to what Bluey, the most popular children's show right now, is? So, context for like
There's
probably
your
the 5 of you who have no idea what this cartoon dog is.
I feel like a lot of people know what it is. They just don't know why a bunch of people my age seem to care about it,
It's
which is
it's the children's show with stuff for adults, which is
yeah.
the
It's,
reason why people like our generation like sort of fixate on it is because not a lot of
Yeah.
kid shows do that. We're not
Yeah.
here to talk about the show though.
no.
We're here to talk about this little phenomenal video game, which let me say, I have personally played and beaten. I have played this.
Yeah, with our buddy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and this is unequivocally one of the worst, if not the worst video game me of my over decade of playing has ever had the misfortune of touching.
I think what bothers me even more is the fact that they like the original show managed to do such good rigged animation, and this show just kind of takes a big old dookie dump all over that for no reason. Why?
Video game. And the thing is about Bluey is that it's
Yeah.
not even funny bad. The Peppa Pig
Yeah.
video game was hilariously
I've
bad.
never played the Peppa Pig.
All
video
you need to
game.
know is
Yeah.
the cutaway to the Queen Pig. Rest in peace, Queen Elizabeth, with a picture of Queen Pig.
That's amazing. Oh yeah, I think you talked to me about
Yeah.
that before. Yeah, yeah, that's hilarious.
But this game, this game
yeah,
has 4 sort of episodes, 4 locations you go
Uh-huh.
to. They're called episodes.
yeah,
You go to a place, you
Yep.
interact with a thing in the place,
yeah.
and that's it. That is it. That's not a joke. I'm not oversimplifying it in any way.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair,
That
it
is
is a
genuinely
game
all
for
you do.
literal babies.
Yes, but it doesn't have to. It can be
could be- yeah.
educational at least. At
That's
least
fair.
it should teach them something.
Yeah.
This teaches them nothing.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of games, especially, but a lot of children's media in general, unironically, this seems to have the opposite problem that, like, Bluey fixed the problem that this game seems to have,
The
which
issue
is,
with children's media is that it thinks children are
Yeah.
dumber than they actually
or
are.
they're like, oh, it's just for kids.
Children
Kids
are
will- yeah.
children are smarter than people think.
Yeah, and they deserve.
They can comprehend
Yeah.
basic stuff.
That argument I made like 2 seconds ago, which is why this game is bad, which is, oh, it's just for babies, though, it's just for kids. Exactly.
Yeah.
So they should have fulfilling media that isn't like Coco Melon. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, children need to have brain stimulating stuff.
That's why, like, Miss Rachel, learning with Miss Rachel on YouTube, genuinely a good way to teach children.
Really? I've never seen that.
It's genuinely just like watching like a kindergarten teacher
Oh, huh.
actively teach.
Oh, cool.
And it's
Or Bill Nye was,
Bill Nye's a bit old for the audience.
No, that's fair. But I mean, like, back in,
Yes.
back in my day.
Okay, Grandpa.
Yeah, but you know what I mean,
Yes.
right? Like, or even like Vsauce for older
Nope.
kids.
No.
Why?
Vsauce is not for Vsauce is for
Well, Vsauce is for adults,
yes.
but like,
No.
but I
No.
love Vsauce.
No.
That was unironically my childhood, which is why I'm so silly now.
I am in your walls.
How many fingers? Where are your fingertips?
But with Bluey the video game,
Yeah.
I think Bluey the video game shows the reason why early childhood and like children's games just kind
Yeah.
of don't exist anymore.
Yeah, which is a shame because I feel like there'd be a lot of
Yeah,
cool
no.
stuff. To be fair, we do have this kind of issue with this isn't me critiquing children, by the way, to clarify. This is me critiquing the adults that parent them. A lot of adults seem to genuinely think that putting an iPad in front of their kid is going to teach them
Exactly.
something, or even just keep them occupied. And it's like, oh, why is my child, like, screaming at their teachers? Because you didn't bother to take care
And
of
that's
them.
the market for this game.
Yeah, exactly.
This game is marketed towards parents who are too lazy to teach their children anything. Like, no
Exactly.
shade to Bluey. Bluey is fun and it's
Yeah.
educational, but you can't just train them solely off of a cartoon dog.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't, like, I would just say to a lot of parents, because again, like, this isn't even the worst example.
No.
Like, if you buy your kid Bluey the video game, you're not a bad parent.
No.
But I'm saying, if you're
It's
just...
a fun video game
yeah,
for
but
children.
But if you're just giving it to if you're just giving your kid, like, YouTube Kids or
Yeah.
whatever, don't.
No.
Don't do that. Don't, like, make sure you kind of know what your kids are watching and hang out with them,
Yeah.
Do fun things with
Stop
them.
just like putting your kids in front of like Coco Melon.
Yeah, exactly.
Put them in front of us instead.
No. We can't teach them about zoochosis. Or Todd Howard.
They need to learn sometime. Todd Howard is not going to pass.
Todd Howard is eternal. Todd Howard lives forever. God bless Todd Howard.
I pray to him every night before I go to bed.
Yeah, I have my little Todd Howard
Shrine.
yeah, and my Todd Howard holy book. It's not a Bible, it's a Todd Howard holy book. That's what it's
Is it
called.
just like the development Bible of like Skyrim?
Yeah, but instead it's just every single picture of the dragons, And it just says this is
You know what genre of video games has been really bad recently?
what?
Shooters.
Oh yeah.
Shooters have been awful recently.
And we've been talking about multiple ones.
We've only really talked about like 2 or 3.
That's fair.
But the next game on our list is Infamous.
Really? I haven't heard of this one at all.
Really? This
Yeah.
game was Sony's next big project. It had a budget
Oh,
of something
no.
like $30 million.
Mhm.
The servers for it shut down within 2 weeks.
Really?
And
this
every-
game is lost media or like not around anymore.
Yes, you cannot play it.
Okay.
And every single person who purchased a copy got a
Mhm.
full refund.
Dang.
And yet, no, this was Sony's next big game on like
Yeah.
PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4.
Uh-huh.
It's a hero shooter, which, firstly, no, that is one of the most oversaturated things
Yeah.
The only genre I can think of that's more oversaturated than like a 6v6 hero shooter is a roguelike Metroidvania.
Or like RPG. For I guess in the indie sector, RPGs.
Yes.
Yeah.
One of the biggest complaints was the
Mm.
character design, which, as you might see, it's not horrendous.
It's lame.
It is.
though.
It's basic.
It's
though. It isn't-
another guy and another guy and another fella.
Exact.
And it's like, you can't.
They don't look unique.
No.
Because the thing with Overwatch is the
Every
gameplay might
character
be
is a
basic,
character.
but yeah, no, every character has
Characters.
characteristics to
Yeah,
them. They look
exactly.
unique. They
Like
act
even
unique.
TF2, who are all just normal human people, they have different body types, they have different shape, they have different personality. You can identify with every single. You know what I mean? Like there's something about them.
Out of everything you could have possibly said,
TF2?
I did not expect you to talk about Team Fortress 2.
Well, it's a classic shooter.
I have 3,000 hours in that game.
Well, you know, it's like every single character has a thing. Like there's
Yeah, there's
literally
characteristics.
Yeah, exactly, and it's
Characters
one
are
of the
unique,
classics.
which was one of the other problems with this game. You won't be able to hear it since, it's B-roll footage and stuff.
Yeah.
But if you could, the characters are all generic. Like, they all of their quips are like, whoa, can't believe that happened.
Oh, it's just me.
Wow, that was such a cool shot. I'm so proud of myself. That was so cool.
That's so epic and rad, dog.
Exactly,
It's like
they're
the rad,
generic.
yeah, it's like the rad dog from wasn't it The Simpsons that was with-
Poochie?
maybe?
Yes, Poochie, the space
Yeah,
dog.
but that was from the 90s. It's just the modern equivalent of that, which is
But
cool guy with guns
the thing
say
is,
cool thing.
generic characters, you can have generic, like CSGO, CS2. You literally just play as generic military men.
Yeah. Which
But-
is just
But the thing is, you don't play CS2 for characters.
yeah, you play it for the
You
the
play it for the
weaponry.
shooting.
Yeah.
This is a hero shooter. The
Exactly.
selling point are the characters.
It's like having a mascot horror with like bad mascots, and then it makes $1 million, and it's called Garden of Banban.
Jumbo
it's-
Josh is gone.
There is no more Jumbo Josh. I eated him.
That's the thing that hurts about Concord. Is that it just this is a $30 million game.
Yeah.
This game has been in development for like 6-7 years.
Yep.
But it flopped because it's a hero shooter where the heroes aren't interesting.
Yeah, and again, it's not just like when you're making a character, right? When you're making a hero shooter, when you're making any type of game that is character focused, you need to have good silhouettes. You need to have interesting backstory. You need to be able to summarize the basic ideas of the people in a couple like
Yes.
quick words, but behind those quick words needs to be an actual interesting story.
And that's the thing is, it doesn't even need to be in gameplay. Like the characters can be
Exactly.
like Team Fortress 2.
Yeah.
They are all just insane mercenaries who are
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah, exactly.
There's nothing deeper to it.
Exactly, but there's so much character
Yes,
there.
they're unique.
Yeah, it's
They-
like Bugs Bunny as an like Bunny isn't a deep character.
No,
but he's an interesting
he's
one
funny.
inherently
He's
because he's
interesting,
funny,
and he has a history.
Yeah, and it's not just he's funny. He's funny in a different way to how Daffy Duck is funny, which is
Yes.
different to how Porky Pig is funny. To give like the most obvious
Yeah.
example, you know?
And that's the thing. It's not even just characters that plague this thing. Like
Yeah.
from a graphic design perspective, look at that HUD. Why is it so big?
Yeah, and why is it so bland is my question. It looks like a bunch of gray crap, which
The
is,
health bar takes up like the entire bottom left corner.
yeah, it's true. Like if I guess it could be no, but if you're playing a shooter, you
You
should
need as much visibility
yeah,
as
exactly.
possible.
So why is it like that?
No.
Yeah.
And it's just Concord is it could have been something.
Yeah.
And it should have been something.
Mhm.
I mean, there's another. The reason people say it failed is
Yeah.
because it's too woke, because the characters are gay, which is true. The majority of these, it's an Overwatch thing. There's like not a single
But
straight
that's the thing.
character on this one.
Overwatch does have like a
Yes.
bunch of diverse
And
characters.
it's one of the most popular games on the market.
Baldur's Gate has so much gay characters. They're all bisexual, and it still works. It has nothing to do.
No.
with
Go woke, go broke, says them to Baldur's Gate, which is like the best-selling game of
exactly.
all time.
Like it has nothing to do
No.
with any of that. What the only thing that is wrong with your game is that
It's a bad game.
it's a bad game. And politics, at least in this case, have
No.
nothing to do with that.
Politics and
It's not even political.
no,
I'm sorry.
politics are not in every game ever made.
Exactly. I'm sorry. I could just exist, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean anything. I don't care.
You're the reason this game failed.
Wow.
But
No, you are, El Bozo.
this game makes me sad because it looks like it genuinely be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Now there are rumors that Sony is gonna try again.
Yeah.
There's rumors in a few weeks that Sony's gonna bring it back online and revamp it. Granted, again,
Yeah.
these are purely
Mhm.
rumors with no source. I
Yeah.
don't believe it,
Yeah.
considering it's like a $30 million loss.
But if they do, all I'll say. Also, okay, side tangent. Actually, never. Okay, how do you make gay people boring? How do you? Why are you looking at me? How dare you?
No side tangent. Move on to what you were gonna say
Oh.
before you went on the side tangent.
Now I don't even remember. What was it?
Wow, that was such a worthy side tangent. We had such a diverse and deep discussion about
We
that.
did, just like the gay people in this game.
Representation in media, good.
Good.
Yay, that was a diverse.
Just like us, we are. Oh, at some point we do need to go over the woke list.
Do we got?
No, we don't have time now.
No, not today. I was gonna ask if we had time to quickly talk about the other Call of Duty games because there was one more on the list that was kind of different.